Okay, so I have a car with a big turbo. I've already done a video on this. I had more questions on it, so I'm going to try to explain it pretty easy here. And I'm going to try to do a diagram also on paper. So what we have is we have a AGP turbo kit. This is a 6266 Gen 2. It's on the AGP log with an external wastegate. You can see the precision wastegate down here. Now everything's kind of in behind. Now, what we're actually focusing on is we're running a manual boost controller, okay? How do my vacuum lines hook up, okay? So, if you have one of these, the best way to figure out which way this works, even though this one has labels on it, is blow through it. This one here has one out the bottom and one out the side. This is made to have the air flowing into the bottom and then out the side, okay? So, down here on the turbo, we have a vacuum line that goes to a little nipple. It's really hard to see. It's actually down underneath the air cleaner, okay? So, that nipple is on the pressure side of the turbo. So, when this is running, it's pulling the air in, and then it's building the air pressure, and it's pushing it down the hot side pipe toward the intercooler, okay? That is where I'm picking this. That's where this hose is picking up air from, okay? So what happens is air pressure flows through that. When it builds boost, goes through this valve, through this hose that I have tucked nicely underneath here where you can't see it, over into our wastegate, okay? It runs into the bottom of the wastegate. That is how our vacuum lines are run. Okay? So that port is here. We're going to come from that, go to our bottom of our manual boost controller. From our boost controller over to the bottom of our wastegate, okay? Air is going to flow this way. Okay? And what's going to happen is you have this wastegate, all right? I'm just going to explain to you what the boost pressure going into the bottom of this wastegate is going to do, all right? Now, what is here is there's a piston, all right? Okay? And that's going to allow gases to go up. And then this is our pipe. All right? That exhaust gas is going to go in and then out this pipe, okay? Now, this is going to work simultaneously, all right? So you're building RPMs, all right? So you have a turbo on here, and that turbo is going to create back pressure, which is what spins the turbo, all right? So you're going to have pressure in your manifold coming out the backside of the engine, spinning your turbo, all right? And what that is going to do is that's going to push up on this valve. You're going to have pressure pushing up on that valve. There's a spring in here, your spring, okay? And that is going to push against, actually, sorry, that's on the wrong side. The spring's actually on the top of the diaphragm, okay? I think I have one here. I can show you what one looks like on the inside. Exhaust gases are going to push up against that spring. When this pressure gets to a certain point, it's going to open this and allow exhaust gases to bypass the turbo and out your wastegate, okay? Exhaust, all right? Now, remember, we have our pipe hooked up here, okay? And then this turned all the way to minus, okay? Blowing through this, air now flows through it, and it's coming across, okay? So we have full pressure. So let's say that wastegate is coming up to, let's just say 10 PSI. When this is at 10 PSI, it's pushing 10 PSI boost through here. And that 10 PSI is actually pushing into here and pushing up on this diaphragm to help reduce boost, because we're all the way down at 0, minus, all the way open, okay? That's letting the air flow through, okay? What's going to happen when I turn this to plus, I'm going to stop my airflow. I'm not going to allow as much air through here as fast as possible, okay, with it being open. I'm going to close this off some, okay? What that's going to do is it's not going to allow the boost pressure to come through here to my wastegate, okay, to help push this open with the exhaust pressure that's underneath it, all right? And that is how this manual boost controller works. Now, we're running a 15-pound spring in that wastegate, and that's what is in there when it's made. It's a guesstive figure from what my personal experiences have been. Now, let's say we're all the way to plus, and we have, let's just say we're only getting 17 psi because of the spring. I'm going to come over here. How can you say it? Now, that would just be with this all the way to plus. I'm closing off any boost pressure that's coming through there to help opening that. All right. That's going to be whatever wastegate pressure is the easiest way to say that. Well, that would be no different than if you ran this hose, basically wastegate pressure. So you would be all exhaust, would be pushing this open. You wouldn't be getting any help from the boost. All right. Now that this is fully closed, I can come over here. I can take this hose off. I can put it onto my top. All right. Then, even though I'm all the way to plus, I can start turning this toward minus. That's going to open that valve. My boost pressure is going to take the same track, but it's going to go into the top. All right. I'm going to have pressure going in. What that's going to do is it's going to assist this spring in holding this shut, stopping exhaust pressure from escaping out my wastegate, causing my turbo to spin more and build more pressure. Okay? So that will in turn, up my boost even more. Now you can go in here and you can change these springs out in your wastegate. I know I'm dragging on here, but your wastegate comes with different springs, larger springs, smaller springs. Most do when you get them. And you can go in, they have a nice color book. I've shown this in other videos. It tells you what PSI is what spring is what PSI. Try to get this list real quick. There's that. Okay, so it'll tell you what each one is for. Large blues 18. So, you know, but what's in here might be fine. You might be able to get enough adjustment out of it running it that way. Right here. So that might be fine. Running this in the top. You might get enough out of it. All right, now let's get this back to where we were. Because this is where we're going to be starting out when we start the tune on this. We want the least amount of boost as possible. So we're going to have boost pressure coming through. This is going to be all the way to minus. It does make a difference. One turn at a time can make a difference, all right? So we're going to come through all of our pressure, and we're going to open this up, and hopefully we're going to have less than 15. Okay? I don't know the best way to explain this. Hopefully this does help. I'm going to grab, so right here, this is a wastegate, all right? All right, now this one, obviously, this one's bad, okay? So you'll have your wastegate, your exhaust pressure goes in here. It forces, if you're forcing on this to force this open, which is going to allow exhaust gases out here to dump out our wastegate, okay? I'm going to have the pressure hooked here, and it's going to, airs can't go past this diaphragm, okay? This one's damaged. This is why this is out. Air's going to push in the bottom of this, and it's going to push this up, all right? That's the way that works. It's going to be fighting against this spring that's in here. Look at this. It's not easy to get together, all right? Or this diaphragm will be in here, all right? And if we want to help assist this spring, we're going to put that boost pressure into here, and that is going to help keep that shut even more, all right, to help build pressure. This is a Tile Sport. This should be a 15. It's a green spring. So I'm not sure which one that is, but that should be what you need for that. This one has damage to it here. Somebody took it apart to try to change out the springs, and they ended up damaging the diaphragm here in 2 different spots. All right. I was trying to diagnose a turbo issue, and we ended up just replacing this instead of ordering parts. Now you can order this. This is going to need a new fire ring and a new diaphragm. And I think we need a couple pieces, like 2 of these maybe, to make this a working wastegate. All right. So hopefully that shows you the inner workings of the wastegate and kind of helps to understand things. But that should be what you need to know about this.